Bonjour everyone, this is the Alpine A521. This is the race car Esteban Ocon won his first Formula 1 GP with. The Hungarian GP was a pretty strange one, to be honest. Everyone basically started on intermediate tires and everyone was pretty well away. Unfortunately, Bottas couldn't find his brake pedal that race and basically took out half the front field. Because of that crash into turn 1, the race was basically red flag. And in a red flag you can switch tires. Because the race was a red flag for so long, the track dried up and every driver decided to go to normal tires. Because Hamilton didn't pit for dry tires, he went on to start the race with intermediate tires and basically lost position because he had a mandatory pit stop to make to dry tires, which meant that Esteban Ocon could really profit from Hamilton's mistake, and he basically did, and he went on to win the race. So yeah, pretty strange race. But first, our sponsor of this video being Raceland.de. Raceland.de is basically a store which specializes in motorsport diecast vehicles. I know I have a lot of Formula 1 viewers on my channel, but that's not the only thing they sell at Raceland.de. So apart from Formula 1, they also have 24 hours of Le Mans, 24 hours Nürburgring, 24 hours Spa and GT, touring cars, rally cars, Formula E, and basically a whole bunch more. You guys basically love the Bahrain GP of 2021 version because that's sold out completely. Luckily, in a new shipment that came in, there's another Alpine for grabs, which is basically this version, the Hungarian GP one. And luckily that's available from stock. There's still plenty of these Alpine cars in stock. And if you're interested in this Modelcar, you know where you can get it. It's basically at Raceland.de. So without further ado, let's take the cellophane off and take a closer look at this box, shall we? So yeah, first of all, the color of the box reminds me very much of the regular RB16B I reviewed a while back. Left upper corner we have a Spark 118 logo. At the right top corner we have the newly branded team that used to be Renault but now is Alpine Formula 1 team. So left down corner we have a trophy that indicates that he basically won this Grand Prix. But the most beautiful side of this box is basically this side, which basically shows the whole profile shot of the car and shows that beautiful shiny blue they have going on there. Front of the box with the front of the car, other side of the box basically the rear of the car. I usually don't go very much into detail about the underneath side of the box, but look at that. It has a special badge of Alpine's branding. It's not really a badge, it's more just like a shiny sticker, but that's basically indicate that you've just bought a official licensed product of the Alpine Formula 1 team. So if you buy this model car, you basically pay indirectly for new front wings of the Alpine team. Keep that in mind. Anyway, that's basically it for the box. So without further ado, let's crack this thing open and take a closer look at it, shall we? And like always, you get to see it first. And now myself. Ooh, wow, this is not a glossy blue. This is like a proper metallic. This is amazing. I thought the blue was going to be like proper shiny and whatever, but it isn't like shiny. It isn't like a gloss paint job. It's like proper metal flake blue. The front wing looks, all right, we'll get to that a little bit later, but I have to say the front wing looks really clean in this carbon fiber. Let's get it off its base, shall we? I thought this came with a pit board, I'm not really sure. Normally it comes in these trays, but maybe in here. Oh wait, it doesn't come in here, wait. Before you throw away, I will check under this flap, because this time it's actually underneath here, so keep that in mind. So yeah, let's open it. That's proper metal as well. That's the sound of quality. We'll take a closer look at this special thing at the end of the video, shall we? But yeah, let's do what we always do, work our way from the front to the back, because there's a lot of tiny details which I think needs addressing, shall we? Front wing. I think the simplicity of the front wing, the whole carbon fiber texture is really my taste, and I really like that. And one thing that makes me very happy when I see it, and that's basically these slots between the flaps of the front wing. So really great attention to detail there. These incredibly thick sensors on there as well. Inside on the wing end plate has a beautiful red coloring and with a sponsor plug power. What I think is a very nice detail, which basically just a very clean font of Alpine with the French flag. So this whole livery is basically a homage to France, basically. Then we get to the nose of the front wing, and I have to say, I think this is one of the thinnest car noses I've seen so far. The sponsors on here are very cleanly, it's not too clustered, but we do have a couple on here. All the way at the front of the nose, we don't see a badge of Alpine, we basically see the French flag. Above that is the name of the car, which is the A521. And above that we basically have the Alpine logo. Then we get to the sponsor section, which is basically Castrol. I don't know if that next sponsor is Mapfre or Mapfre, I'm not really sure. Above that we have Microsoft, then we have Mandiant, and I'm basically a mandatory sponsor of Pirelli. A very interesting design part of this car is basically the cape floor we see going on there. And what's basically very unusual about this cape flooring is that it reaches all the way to the suspension, basically. Right, then we get to the suspension bit. What's incredible to see about this suspension, it reminds me of the Sauber C37, I believe it was. Which basically was that this suspension is very high compared to the center of the wheel. Then we get to the driver cell, which basically has another sponsor being Bank End Services, a beautiful antenna going on there, and race number 31. If you were to ask me what Esteban Ocon's race number was before this video, wouldn't have a clue. The side of the driver cell is actually pretty minimalistic. Usually there are a lot of logos or either team names on this side of a car, but on this car it's basically pretty empty, really. It only has one decal of Mapfre. Bargeboard section looking really interesting as well. It looks like a bunch of mountains, really, but look at that, we even have some silver going on there. But yeah, then we get to the tires, and the tires looking really clean, and I think there's only two compounds on this car which would have fitted perfectly, and that's basically white and red. These tires are not randomly chosen to fit the car. These tires are basically based on what tires they used in a race. Then we get to the cockpit section. Usually with a lot of car designs, the cockpits are very crowded. However, this Alpine is so clean. Kind of very cool to see is that this cockpit section actually droops down a little bit. Then we get to the driver figure, which is looking very crispy because, I mean, look at that helmet. It fits perfectly with this car. Basically has a little Eiffel Tower on top as well. And of course, number 31. Basically the suit they had back then was pretty blacked out. We have some nice seat belts going on here. Some diecast details as well. Steering wheel looking really nice. Very precise coloring on this steering wheel, basically. I like to see that, really. What's also nice to see is the rev limiter on top. Then we get to a very interesting section of this car, the huge engine cover. So this beast of an engine cover really hints that there's a very powerful engine going on here. Then we get to the side pod section of this car. This side pod is actually pretty round, really interesting design to see. And next to that we have a pretty interesting geometric shape of a Alpine logo in the French color. And this suspension as well is looking really amazing. We have this bar going into the bottleneck at the end, which is always looking really nice. Rear wing looking really cool. I don't know if I'm seeing this right, but the rear wing is actually lower than the engine cover. Alpine cars are pretty well known for their low drag rear wings. Oh wow, when I look at the back, I don't know if you can see these tiny silver bars. I mean, that looks so fragile, I'm not even going to touch it. A big exhaust we have going on there. It's curved as well. Rear lights is looking really clean. Right now I want to take a small little detour to this little thing we got as well. What I really like about this pit board is that it's all die-cast, it's all metal, and what we basically see here is the French flag. We see the abbreviation of Ocon and of course P1. So you can put this on this little base when you display it. Talking about a base, and that basically reads Alpine A521 winner Hungarian GP 2021 Esteban Ocon. I'm kind of speechless, to be honest. The colors on here really surprised me because, like I said at the beginning of this video, I thought it would be a gloss paint job, but it's a proper metal flake blue. I really enjoyed the season, but without a doubt we can all agree on that the whole season was chaos. The start of this race, chaos. The restart after the red flag, chaos. Esteban Ocon winning a GP in an Alpine car in 2021. So yeah, that basically sums up this video. I really hope you enjoyed this video as well. I think we can all agree that the Alpine of 2021 as a regular livery was basically one of the most beautiful liveries on the grid. So if you like what I do, maybe consider subscribing. It helps me to keep motivated to make more videos for you guys. If you want to check out this Modelcar, it's in the description down below. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I sincerely hope to see you in the next one as well.